a great draft. That you're getting kids who aren't finished products, but you're tanking to get that unfinished product there. He's Jerry West, the Laker legend, Golden State Warriors consultant, who joins us on the show again. Jerry, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Dan. I'm fine, thank you.
What made you come to that realization as you looked at the talent maybe available in the draft that don't pin your hopes on turning around your franchise?
Well, all you have to do is just look at the last few years, okay? And you look at the teams that have so wanted to get these young kids, which obviously they're the lifeblood of any NBA team. I mean, you're hopeful that you can get a kid that you can come in and play right away and make you better. In recent years, that has not been the case. We get kids after 2-3 years that come in and become better players. But the two rookies this year that have made the greatest impact, and probably one of them is going to be Rookie of the Year, would be Michael Carter-Williams and the Oladipo kid from
Orlando. He went to Indiana.
Yeah, no.
He plays in Orlando.
I know that, Dan, but I'm talking about for Orlando.
Yeah.
So those two teams get the two rookies, and look at their records. And look at the people that were drafted before them who've made little or no impact on teams that need help. And all I'm saying is, I look at the draft as an opportunity to get a talent. And when you get a chance to get a talent, you're hopeful that player can come in and at least start for you and play right away. Well, those two players have, and they've played reasonably well, but their teams have not prospered. And that's in the recent years, because we get so many kids that are one and done, that these kids simply are not ready to play right away. And the fans get all excited. Everyone gets really excited. You look at pro football. People follow this stuff like crazy. They follow these kids like crazy. And, again, the reality of it, particularly in basketball, because of the huge step up in the style of play, it's just completely different than it has been in the past, where you get players who go to school 3 or 4 years, and everyone would love to be involved in the draft, and particularly when there's 2 or 3 people there that you'd love to have. But to say that these kids are going to make a difference right away is probably not even close to the truth.
Well, you have Kobe and LeBron and Garnett, and people think that we're going to find the next one of those guys, and those are once-in-a-generation, once-in-a-decade type players. So I don't know how good Jabari Parker is or Wiggins or any of these guys, but if they come in, and I'm tanking, which I think, the 76ers are tanking. I think it's more of a managerial tanking. We're just going to take the best players off the team, and then you continue to coach. But I don't know if you're going to get significantly better anytime soon, and I wonder if that losing kind of creates, that atmosphere is there, that you're still losing. You can't get out of that sort of abyss, that black hole.
Well, the word tanking to me is, I think, a dangerous word, okay? That means you're not even trying. And if you're a season seat holder, and you pay a lot of money to see these teams win, you want to get out there and watch players play their hardest every night. But, Dan, in most of the cases, these teams are not talented enough to win. And I keep hearing the word tanking. I mean, it might be more prevalent. And I watch the league very closely, and I do watch games every night. And to look at the quality of teams in the league, this is a really down year for the NBA. Except for the West and a few teams in the East, these other teams are really, really struggle. And at the end of the day, they're not talented enough to win. And people come to a game, fans who buy season seat holders come to a game, and they want to see competitive teams. These teams play hard, but there's just not enough talent there for them to win on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I watch Philadelphia play. They do play hard, but the management has taken some of those players, traded away players, and now you look at that product out there. I mean, they may not win another game the rest of the season, Jerry.
Well, as I say, who knows? But they're not the only team in that. Look how many teams have won 19 or 20 games. There's a bunch of teams. And Dan, if a team wins 20 games, that means they're going to lose 62. And if I were a fan, I would think somewhere along the way, you want some hope. The hope is in the draft. And but again, the product and the lack of players that can play this game at a high level. As you're well aware, one player can make all the difference in the world. If you look at Los Angeles, One player, Kobe Bryant, has not been around all year, and even with him, this team would have had a tough time making the playoffs. Even with him, this is probably the least talented Laker team that I've seen in a long time. But on top of it, they have had so many injuries, and when they were playing hard and playing well, and they still play hard. They still really play hard. And that's a tribute to the players and also the coach who gets just battered out here by everyone. This is about talent. And you look at the talented teams out here in the West, my gosh, San Antonio, I've never seen a coach do what he does in this league. Never. I mean, if you look at their team, they're nondescript in the sense that no one calls attention to themselves. They keep things in the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's never any controversy down there because of the quality of their management and also the players they have on their team. They develop their players. They believe in their system, and they believe in Greg Popovich. He's just done an unbelievable job. And if you put another coach there, I don't care who it is. I'm not sure they could replicate the same thing.
Do you think Mike D'Antoni's been given a fair shot there?
Well, this is not the most talented team that I have seen, but this team has played really hard this year. They have played really hard. It's not up to me to decide or anyone else to decide. I watch the Lakers with great interest, and I will until I, part this earth. I watch people criticize. It's easy when you're on the sideline to criticize. It's easy for fans, and particularly players and ex-players continue to this rant of, criticizing everything they do over there. It doesn't help. And as I say, I'm honestly, I root for them. I want them to win. I still have a couple of friends over there. My son works for them, and I know how difficult this season is. But it's part of the process of trying to rebuild a team that needs rebuilt.
Does it help that Kobe calls out front office publicly to try to make change there?
Well, as I say, I really don't want to get into that, okay? But if I were a player, I'd never say a word. I played for a number of coaches. You'd like things to be like they were before. Time changes everything. Leadership changes everything. And, Jerry Buss was a great leader, but he also had the benefit of having some incredible players. They don't have that kind of talent there today. And I think if people will just let them try to rework this franchise, give them an opportunity without the constant criticism. And anyone who looks at this team and people throughout the league, if you look at Las Vegas said they wouldn't win 31 games this year, okay? They don't do things over there. People love to gamble. I'm not one of them, by the way, but people love to gamble. But I do pay attention to the point spreads in games, and it tells you I haven't seen them being a favorite except once or twice this year, early in the season. Most of the time, they're underdogs, and that would tell you that people don't think as highly of their team as they have in the past.
Talking to the Laker legend Jerry West joining us on the show. Your reaction when you heard that Phil to the Knicks to run the front office was a possibility?
If I were Knicks fans, I'd be a lot more excited if he was the coach. Okay, I know what he can do down there on the sideline. He's had a remarkable career, but I think what he will do there for New York, he'll bring a name there that people will rally around. The Knicks have, I guess not played up to expectation, and again, they spent a lot of money on the players there that their record doesn't reflect that. And I think what he will do there, he'll bring him credibility because of his resume, and hopefully, that will help them get off to a new beginning, even with players signed there. But they also, that's not the most talented team in the league, regardless of what people say. It's not.
Well, the difference in assessing talent and coaching talent, you did it better than anybody in assessing it. Phil was great in coaching talent. Now he's got to assess it. How difficult is that transition?
Well, honestly, I think one of the things that maybe helped me a little bit, and I certainly wouldn't say I'm we were just fortunate here in Los Angeles. It takes good fortune to bring players in and develop and also put them in an environment where they can prosper. We had a lot of great players here, so people that we drafted, they fit a little niche into a big puzzle. And I think the thing that probably helped me most as an executive or being involved in the front office were two things. Number one, my association with Jerry Buss. We had talk after talk after talk. One of the things that he insisted upon, he wanted a team that was fun to watch. So we looked for players that had a flair, but we also looked for players that were kind of nuts and bolts people who could come in and play a role on a team and fit in with these great players that we had. He also wanted basketball to be more than just a sport. He wanted to be a part of entertainment. Here in Los Angeles, obviously, that was important. But if you look, some of the greatest players of all time played here in Los Angeles, some of the very greatest. And so they were going to be successful regardless of who coached them. And when you got a coach there that was Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, they had enormous talent, but yet they were able to do something that a lot of people would have no chance to do, and that's to put a team in position to win championships, and more importantly, to have an organization that would go out and try to get players that would help them achieve those goals. And the fans here in Los Angeles have been unbelievably blessed. And now they don't like it when they're not playing the way they should. But again, they just don't have enough talent. And with Kobe Bryant not there, they don't have somebody that's going to drive the players that they have.
Before I let you go, I talked to Stan Van Gundy about this in the first hour, and I'll try to phrase this in a politically correct way, and I do appreciate your honesty in coming on and talking about this, but I always got the feeling that Phil got more credit than maybe he deserved, or others didn't get enough credit behind the scenes with the Lakers, because I still go back to they passed up Phil to take Mike D'Antoni when Phil was willing to coach again, and I don't know how much ego played into that, Jerry, and you were there with Phil. Is there anything to that people felt underappreciated, that Phil got maybe more of the credit?
Well, as I say, anyone who has coached as many teams to world championships is going to get an enormous amount of credit, a lot of credit, and rightfully so. But if he hadn't had the talent there that he had, he wouldn't have won that many championships here in Los Angeles. He had an incredible talent. But to say another coach could have done it would not have been the truth. Okay, it would not have been the truth. And he got an awful lot of credit for here and in Chicago, which he should have gotten. You can't look at his resume and be critical of him. But Phil does things his way. It's going to be interesting to see if and when he takes this job, how he's going to try to make a difference in New York. But these are not easy jobs. There are some wonderful people that work in this league that work unbelievably hard, and you've got every kind of device today, through metrics, through statistics, through watching players. I think that's important. It's another tool, but you can't look in the heart of a player. I don't care. There's never been a device that measures the heart and the competitiveness as a player. That's something that executives have to figure out, and it's not an easy job. But I will tell you, this is a full-time job. It's not a part-time job, period.
It's great to talk to you again, Jerry.
Dan, thanks for the visit again, and look forward to seeing you sometime soon.
All right, thank you. It's Jerry West, the Laker legend, the logo.